What's going on, guys? This is part 2 of my time in the military where I got put up on drug charges. So I'm gonna start where I ended off. So, and apologize about me ending it off, but where I was going, I couldn't be videotaping. So, it is what it is. So, anyway, guys. So basically, at that time, the guy that was doing the weed, they found out that it was him because he popped dirty, and he was getting processed out of the Navy. It's not like if you get kicked out of the Navy, they don't just kick you out. You have to process out, so it takes time. So he was doing his time. You have to do your time, and then you have to end up getting out. So anyway, while all of this was going on, and this is another part to me not just getting caught up on drug charges, but it's the mentality of a hoodlum thug mentality that the people I was around, and it gave me a reality check on how people in that frame of mind, a real hood mentality. And when a hood mentality is, it's like, oh, if they even think of you being a snitch, your life to them is worthless. And they thought that I snitched. They thought that me and this guy McLaughlin had snitched. We didn't snitch. We just said, hey, look, we didn't take no parts of it. It is what it is. So people looked at that as like, me snitching. Looked at, as McLaughlin snitching. So during that time on the ship, I was called a snitch. My time was limited on this earth, and it was kind of, and again, I'm in my 20s, so it's like, man, it was making, all of these things were going through my head. It was making me grow up, and it was making me really think, like, wow, like I thought and at that time I was like, wow, all black people stick together, and I was really into like Malcolm X and stuff like that, and like, black this, black that, and I was all about that. That broke me out of that real quick, because the same people that I was held in high regards because they had the same skin color as me was the same people that were talking about ending my life, straight up ending my life. And the thing of it is that, don't get it twisted, like, just because people join the military, that doesn't mean anything. These people are doing that just to basically kind of like get out of their situation. That don't mean that they turn their whole life around. When people in the military, people are still doing dirt. People are still doing dirt. They still got ties to whatever they was doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that, oh, you're in the military, you go on a straight and narrow. No. These people these guys were connected. Big time. So it really put me in a situation where it's like, wow, I can't even trust my own people. I can't even trust my own skin color. And the sad thing of it is, during this time while I was waiting for my trial, and even after my trial, waiting for my trial, the only people that came to my that like was like real like understanding and like came to my side was white people and Latinos, Hispanic people. And I never thought that would happen. I never forget, it was this one guy, I never forget, his last name was Stewart. He's a little short little guy, Stewart. And I think he was like Mexican, like, and white or something like that. And I never forget, he was about to get out of the Navy. I had just got on the ship and he was about to get out. And he was like, look, man, he was like, at the end of the day, man, he was like, you need, he's like, he said, I would do the same thing you did. He's like, I understand. And he was like, don't let this get to you. But he was like, I would do the same exact thing you did. You know, but the thing of it is that he was getting out, so he really, you know, I'm trying to like think of people who you could have your back. And the thing of it is, it's like you trying to be a man, so you don't want to like, hey, you know, you don't want to like go to people and be like, hey, you know, this is happening, that happened. You're trying to hold your own as a man, and you don't want to be like, man, hey, you know, you don't want to be like a tattletale. You know, you want to be like straight up, like, you know what? Now I can hang with this. You know, I can duke it out. But it was a hard experience to deal with. It was taxing. It was stressful. But you know what though? I needed to go through it. I needed that to happen to me. I needed that to happen to me because it really, really, really made me. It opened my eyes to black people, and how like you can't have this mentality where it's like, oh well, they black, so I ain't got to worry about nothing. As long as I'm around black people, I'm good. They ain't never gonna do me wrong because we all black. That's what I thought. That's how naive I was. So anyway, court date comes around. I don't know if I explained this in the last one, but I'll say it again. Court date comes around, and I go down to the Norfolk County, the Norfolk courthouse downtown, if anybody knows. And it was so basically what happened was it was going to be, all the people that was there was going to be the guy that did it. He had already got kicked out, by the way. He did his time on the ship. He already got kicked out. He was supposed to be there as a defendant. And then it was going to be all of the other people that were the plaintiffs. And the thing of it is, so much time had passed that all of the guys that were defendants and plaintiffs, they had got out of the Navy. I was the only one that was still on the ship. Everybody else had got out, you know. So I didn't know who was going to show up. I didn't know what was going to happen because I didn't keep in contact with them guys. I didn't even keep contact with McLaughlin. I didn't even keep contact with him. You know, I mean, I was so, you know, like had so much stuff going on. I didn't have time to keep up with anything. You know, I was at that time I was pretty much trying to think of how I'm going to explain to my parents that I'm going to be coming home 3 years early. Of the lie I'm going to have, because I was going to lie about it, definitely. I wasn't going to deal with my parents with that. That's the last thing they wanted to hear. So anyway, I go to the Norfolk State House, and I'm like terrified because I'm in my uniform, and I'm thinking, well, if I'm in my uniform, then they're gonna feel sorry for me. But when I get down there, everybody in uniform. Everybody is in uniform. Everybody got the uniform on. They got like a, matter of fact, there's so many Navy people down there. They got like a liaison, like a chief liaison. And like, hey, you go over here. And I'm like, well, that ain't gonna work. You know, they ain't gonna feel sorry for me. So anyway, I sit there praying, cause you you praying then. You ain't praying no other time, but you praying then. And so they call our names up, and they basically said, hey, you know, me versus the state of Norfolk. I mean, the state of Virginia, Norfolk County. So I go up there and I'm looking around. I don't see anybody. So get up there. I'm like terrified. I still don't see anybody. So I get up there in front of the judge, and the judge says, okay. He's calling out all of the defendants and the plaintiffs, and he was like, Where is everybody? And I guess the Navy liaison was like, well, he's the only one that showed up. And so the judge says, well, I can't make a case if nobody showed up. So he was like, case dismissed. And at that time, honestly, it was so much. It didn't even hit me right away. It didn't even hit me. It seemed surreal. And so I ended up getting back in the duty van, and Ensign Sharp, he said, wow, boss, and he's they all about luck. He's like, you're lucky. You're lucky. That was, you like, but you still have to go in front of the DRB board. And the DRB board, if you guys don't know, is it's in a Navy term, it's the disciplinary review board. So I still wasn't out of the clear. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? At this point, I kind of I just lost hope. I lost hope. I stopped praying. I just lost hope. I didn't know what to do, because it was like, wow, I just got past me going to court. Now I got to face the Navy. So anyway, I couldn't get back to the ship fast enough, because I wanted all this to be over. So I get to the disciplinary review board, and it's in the chief's mess, which is where they eat and stuff. And so I had me in there, and all these chiefs are in there, and man, I'm seeing all of these chiefs looking at me like I'm the scum of the earth, looking at me, and they's like, shipmate, this, that, and the other, and cussing me out, and how could you do this? You know what you was doing. You knew them guys were nothing no good, and you still went over there, and blah blah blah, and I'm just saying, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Like, stop saying you sorry, and they said, stop saying you sorry, and I was like, I was just saying I was basically at the mercy. But the only thing that saved me is that they say, we see that you came back to the ship, and you took that test, that drug test, and that showed that you were being proactive, and that you were trying to show your innocence. And so that's the only thing that saved me, is that. That's the only thing that saved me, is that I came back to the ship, told them that I wasn't doing it, told them that hey, look, I wasn't smoking, and can you guys test me?